All right, so all of our students come in through the front door, they put their things into their cubbies, and then they follow the dots. Right now we've got some lily pads with numbers. We've got some friends that really enjoy hopping and counting, so that's that. And then we come to the sink and wash hands before having a seat for meal. Both of our classes are served a meal when they arrive. They come to the table, we sit at the yellow chairs, and they have a placemat that has some picture symbols to help facilitate communication. We also have our iPads out and about to help facilitate communication through that modality. Students have time to eat, and then they practice cleaning up. They follow our steps for tidying up. They pour their milk into the sink, they throw their garbage into the trash, they put their tray into the bus tub, and then they're done. And they can have an opportunity to go explore and get settled into the classroom. We've got 2 classrooms again this year, and each one is set up with different interest areas. At each interest area, you'll see a sign with the number of students that can play there, and most of them have these nice little language Gestalt prompts for our Gestalt language processors. These are students and humans who process language as chunks versus single words, so it helps our staff remember different phrases that we can use to help build that language in our classroom. We also have communication boards and buttons in many of our in our interest areas, to help talk through different things that students might want to do in those areas, or needs, wants, and preferences that they might need to communicate. So we've got puzzles, which are very popular this year, blocks, our library, our small worlds, some toys and games, and then our carpet area. You'll notice at our carpet area, we've got some alternative seating options. We've got the cube bench, 2 spinner chairs in this room right now because we've got several friends that really need that input to attend. We've got some scoop chairs, some cushions, pardon my laptop, it is out for my work day today, and another cube chair underneath that table. After students eat and have time to settle, we have circle time. We talk about what day it is. We do a lot of singing and learning through music and play. And then we transition to our table tasks. Each day, students have 3 tasks that they're working on related to different developmental areas. This is an example of one of our yellow bin tasks. These are related to language and literacy. This week we've been doing interactive scenes, and it has been Fire Safety Week, so we have been working on that, talking about different vocabulary and position words. So as we manipulate the scene with students, oh no, I see a fire at the barber shop. We're looking for that. And then
I see
smoke. Oh no. What should we do? We are still learning this as well.
Please call someone for me.
We need to call for help. Let's call for help. Here comes the fire truck. There's the firefighter. Connect the hose to the hydrant. And then we can take it apart and start again. We also have other versions of interactive scenes where we're talking about front, middle, back. We can talk about wheels, lights, sirens, colors. This is an example of one of our red bin tasks. Red bin is typically math and matching and noticing differences, being able to sort. So here we have different fire engines and their fire extinguishers, and they're trying to match by color. So we can say,
I see gray.
I see gray. Here's gray. Do you see gray?
I see gray.
I see gray. Put it on. So we're working on following directions, color matching, color naming, and using the device to facilitate communication. We also have a green bin each day, which is for fine motor practice, and that includes things like Play-Doh, coloring, drawing, and using different materials to increase their fine motor coordination and stamina. Once we've done all of our bins, our table tasks, and students all have an opportunity to use the restroom, we transition over to our other classroom. Here's our bathroom. We've got 2 different sized toilets and another sink. We've got our hand washing visuals here, and we've got our toileting visuals here to help support each step of that process and building independence. And then in our other classroom, we have some more messy play options, and this is where we typically do our art activities. So here we've got some additional interest areas, a sand and water table, more toys and games, a vertical writing surface. We've got music and movement, our dramatic play area, some small worlds, more puzzles, more blocks, and another calm spot. We also have our discovery table over here, and we do our art, as I mentioned. We spend typically about 30 minutes over here really engaging with students on play and supporting those play skills, social skills around sharing, taking turns, using toys functionally in the way that they're intended, and really exploring the ways that we get along and problem solve with play. After we play, we come back to this side. We have another short circle time that is our movement break time. We're doing dancing, following directions, building vocabulary, and really increasing that joint attention in tasks that may not be their first choice. So practicing following those routines of the classroom. And then we have a story and generally a snack, and then we head outside to play. Again, you'll see we have visuals around the room supporting that we do circle, and then we pack up and go outside. Our 3 big rules in our classroom are over here. Our first big rule is be safe, and that looks like staying in your own space, checking on a friend, asking if they're okay, using materials safely, using walking feet in the classroom, and having a safe body. Our next big rule is to be kind. That looks like sharing and taking turns, using kind words and a kind voice, playing together and wishing each other well. And then our third big rule is to be helpful. That looks like cleaning up, raising your hand to get attention or saying look, washing your hands, listening to the learning, and using the calm spot if your feelings are needing some time and space. So those are our rules, and you'll hear us say a lot, thanks for keeping it safe, thanks for being helpful. Wow, that is so helpful. I love it when you clean up. That's a great way to be a helper, to really just reinforce that those are our expectations in the classroom. We also talk about voice volume. We are never silent, except during drills where we might need to practice being quiet. We are typically in inside voice level 2, but we do have to talk to some students about the difference between an outside voice and an emergency voice and an inside voice. So this visual helps us talk about that scale of volume. I think that is everything that I wanted to make sure folks saw. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, please let me know. And if you have any photographs of your family that you want to add to our friends and family wall, please send them my way. We've got some, but we always love to have more. All right, have a wonderful weekend.